Hello everyone, DMFF here, and welcome back to Time Wizard Techs. This time in Time Wizard Techs, we're going back to GOAT format, with a deck that I have toyed around with a bit in the past, and even more so recently. This deck is called Earthdrain Aggro, or even Earthdrain Warriors. This deck is an Earth-based deck that is very aggressive, that looks to get powerful Earth monsters onto the field, and also negate effects on the field. So let's get right into it. We're going to start with one of the namesakes of the deck, Skill Drain. Activate this card by paying 1,000 life points, negate the effects of all face-up monsters while they're face-up on the field, but they can still activate their effects. Very powerful stuff. We can turn off lots of field effects, but if a monster is sent to the graveyard and its effect activates, it will still go off, so your Sangan will still be able to get you value. So, Skill Drain, very powerful thing. We're running 3 copies of it in this deck. Now, let's get on to the rest of the deck. We'll start with the monsters, and a good place for us to start is going to be 3 copies of Giant Rat. Giant Rat, when destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, can special summon an Earth monster with 1500 attack or less from our deck in attack position. That is a lot of different monsters in this deck, and we are going to go into all of them right now. Firstly, we have Exiled Force, that can be, you contribute it to pop a monster on the field. Next, we have 1 copy of Injection Fairy Lily as just be able to punch over anything type of monster, as long as we don't have Skill Drain up. Next, we do have 2 copies of Marauding Captain, however, this is not going to be something that we're going to be special summoning from the deck very often, though it can be done in a pinch if we really need to protect something on the field. Finally, the last target for Giant Rat in this deck is going to be 1 copy of Mystic Swordsman level 2. If this card attacks a face-down defense position monster, destroy that monster by effect. The rest of the effect is never going to go off, and we are never going to be running any other Mystic Swordsmans. This is just for solid face-down monster removal that is searchable. Now that we've gotten the Giant Rat package out of the way, we will cover the rest of the monsters in the deck, some of which being warriors, others being good utilities. So, first we have Berserk Gorilla, which is a 2k attacker, which can never be in face-up defense position, otherwise it destroys itself, and it must attack each turn. 1 copy of Breaker the Magical Warrior, that could either be 1900 attack or pop at back row. DD Assailant, when this card is destroyed by battle with an opponent's monster, banish that card and this card. Please note, this effect will not work with Skill Drain on the field, as technically DD Assailant and even DD Warrior Lady will still be on the field to activate this effect. 1 copy of DD Warrior Lady, very similar to DD Assailant, just with lesser attack and a better effect. After damage calc, when this card battles an opponent's monster, you can banish that monster and this card. Very solid stuff, gives you the choice, and she's also pretty solid stats-wise. 2 copies of Gigantes as an awesome special summonable 1900 attack monster. All you need to do is banish an Earth monster from your graveyard. If this card is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, destroy all spells and traps on the field. This effect will activate when destroyed and sent to the graveyard if Skill Drain is on the field. 3 copies of Goblin Attack Force as a solid Earth warrior with 2300 attack. Though its effect is very detrimental, you can effectively turn this effect off as long as you have Skill Drain on the field. Then you just have a 2300 attacking beat stick with no downside. 1 copy of Tribe Infecting Virus, as it is one of the best ways to get rid of any type-based decks. 1 copy of Sangan, as it is an awesome card when it's sent to the graveyard from the field. Add a 1500 or less attack from your deck to your hand. Finally, the last monster in the deck is going to be 1 copy of Sinister Serpent, as great discard fodder, or even as a monster that we can set face down every single turn, as it'll return from our graveyard to our hand during our standby phase. Now that's all the monsters. Now let's get on to the spells and traps. 1 copy of Delinquent Duo, as it is one of the sacred treasures in this format. Pay 1,000, rip 2 cards out of your opponent's hand. You don't get to look at their hand, but this is still very powerful. 1 copy of Giant Trunade as solid removal, and can even turn off our skill drains if we need to be able to use later. This is a great option for OTKing and to be able to turn off our skill drain. 1 copy of Graceful Charity, the second treasure of the format. Draw 3, discard 2. 1 copy of Mystical Space Typhoon. Pop a back row. 2 copies of Nobleman of Crossout as solid face-down monster removal. 1 copy of Pot of Greed as the third and final of the 3 treasures. We already know what it does. 2 copies of Reinforcement of the Army to add further consistency to the deck, as we'll be able to take any warrior from our deck and add it to our hand. 1 copy of Snatch Steal to be able to steal one of our opponent's monsters. Now for the traps. 1 copy of Mirror Force as solid board wipe potential. 1 copy of Ring of Destruction to be able to destroy monsters and even deal some damage when needed to. 1 copy of Torrential Tribute that can be activated even if we summon our own Sangan, but is also great board wipe potential. Finally, we have 3 copies of Trap Dust Shoot to be able to take a look at our opponent's hand and rip a monster from it and return it to the deck. Very powerful card in this format. Now that's the entirety of the main deck. Let's get into the side deck. There will be no fusion deck this time. First, we have 1 copy of Gigantes if we just need another special summonable body and be able to remove back row more consistently. 3 copies of King Tiger Wangu as anti-recruiter and anti-last will technology. 3 copies of Kaiku the Ghost Destroyer as anti-chaos technology. 3 copies of Kinetic Soldier. I'm sorry, I'm not calling it Cypher Soldier. This is GOAT format. 3 copies of Kinetic Soldier, which is anti-warrior technology. 3 copies of Death Wombat as anti-burn technology. 1 copy of Cold Wave as more anti-back row technology, as well as Heavy Storm being anti-back row technology. And that's the deck. Very short and sweet this time. Super simple deck, really easy to use, and is honestly quite powerful. Give it a shot, turn off your opponent's effects, and benefit from it greatly. If you enjoyed this simple deck, hit that like button, subscribe, and ding that bell. Possibly even drop a comment. I would love to have some conversations about whatever GOAT deck or whatever format you want to see next. Let me know down in the comments. Thank you so much to KMAL3170 for being my 1 VIP DMFFer. If you would like your username or even your name read off at the end of my videos, join my Patreon today, which is down in the description below. Anyway, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.